welcome to the deep dive. Okay, let's forget the stock tickers for a bit, the latest gadgets.
Yeah, let's step back.
Today, we're diving into something, well, pretty fascinating. How a very specific group, the ultra-wealthy, look at time.
Something fundamental, right, for everyone.
Exactly. And our mission here, really, is to get inside that perspective. Why is it so different? And, what can we maybe learn from it?
Yeah, we've been looking at some really interesting material on this.
Definitely opened my eyes.
And what just jumps out right away is this massive shift in what they value most.
Mm-hmm.
For most people, it's, the daily grind, earning money, building wealth, normal stuff.
Sure.
But at this level, the conversation totally changes. The sources we looked at really hammer home that time. Time is the absolute #1 priority.
It's like they've moved past the money part.
In a way, yeah. They've kind of won that game. So now it's about preserving and strategically using that time.
Yeah, the material kicked off with that great Elon Musk quote.
Yeah.
Was
You can always make more money. You can't make more time.
That's it. It sounds so simple, almost cliche, right?
It does, but
But when you actually stop and think about it,
yeah.
wow, it just flips the script on how we think about our days, our whole lives, really.
Totally. We're constantly hit with this hustle message, maximize every second for earning.
Grind, grind, grind.
But for the folks who've already made it, financially speaking, the whole equation flips upside down.
Time becomes the real scarce commodity.
Exactly. They've sort of cracked the money code. Their needs are met, desires too, mostly.
So time naturally floats to the top.
It becomes the only truly irreplaceable thing. And, that thinking, it seeps into everything they do, work, life, all of it.
And the text gave that great example, Jeff Bezos and his framework.
Ah, yes, the regret minimization framework.
Right. Walk us through that. How does it work?
Okay, so basically when he's facing a big decision, a major fork in the road,
Yeah.
he asks himself this question. Oh, okay, fast forward. When I'm 80 years old, am I going to look back and regret not doing this?
Okay. So it's not about the immediate payout.
Not primarily, no. It's about long-term peace of mind, avoiding that future what-if feeling.
Even if it means maybe missing out on some short-term gain.
Exactly. You're valuing your future self's time and contentment over just piling up more right now. It forces that long view.
That's a profound shift. Instead of just, what's the ROI, it's, what's the impact on my life story?
Yeah, it's much deeper. And the material points out this naturally makes you think differently about commitments. You move away from feeling like you have to do everything.
You become more selective.
Precisely. Because if time is your gold standard, you stop trying to fill every single minute. You realize, hey, not all tasks are equal.
Right. Some things just matter more.
Some demands on your attention will move the needle way more than others, especially for your big goals, your well-being, so you start picking and choosing much more carefully.
Which brings us nicely to that idea of white space. And that Warren Buffett example is almost hard to believe.
Oh, yeah. The schedule that's empty. A whole week, maybe one meeting, lunch.
It completely clashes with our image of a top CEO, right? Busy back-to-back meetings.
Totally. We think crammed calendar equals important, equals productive.
But the text argues that for someone like Buffett, that empty space, that white space, it's not empty at all. It's essential.
Absolutely critical. It's time set aside for, deep thinking, undisturbed thinking.
Reading, pondering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reading voraciously, letting ideas connect, letting strategies actually form. It's like mental breathing room.
Without it, you just burn out or make rushed decisions.
Yeah, you need that space for clarity. The text contrasts this with, people bragging about being slammed.
Which we all hear constantly. It's like a status symbol.
But maybe, just maybe, the truly successful people value the opposite time to actually think.
Because the big ideas, the real breakthroughs,
Yeah.
they don't usually happen in the middle of chaos, do they?
Unlikely. The sources suggest they often come from that stillness, when your brain actually has bandwidth to make those novel connections.
Okay, so let's talk about weaponizing time. Sounds kind of intense.
It does sound a bit aggressive, yeah.
Yeah.
But the way the text explains it, it's more about strategic empowerment, taking control.
How so?
Well, the core idea is that the ultra-wealthy don't just let time happen to them. They actively work to reclaim it, very deliberately.
By using their money.
Exactly. Leveraging their resources, but not, and this is key, not to be lazy, it's to buy back hours.
Hours they'd otherwise spend on.
On tasks that, frankly, don't require their unique skills. Things that don't push their main goals forward.
Like hiring people. Assistants.
That's a big one. Hiring top-notch assistants. But also automating things, building systems that generate income passively.
So they can focus on the high leverage stuff.
Precisely. It's about working smarter, not just putting in more hours, identifying that, the 20% of activities that give you 80% of your results.
The Proto-Principle.
Right. And then finding ways to delegate, automate, or just eliminate the other 80%. It takes real strategic thought about where your time is best spent.
So it's the opposite of just grinding away. It challenges that whole hustle culture idea again.
It really does. The text kind of implies that if you're constantly overworked, maybe your systems aren't efficient. Or maybe you're not prioritizing well.
That's a tough pill to swallow for some people.
It can be. It reframes busyness not as a badge of honor, but potentially as inefficiency.
Which links to the next point, the power of saying no. That's hard for a lot of us.
Incredibly hard. But if you truly value your time like it's, priceless.
Then saying yes to the wrong thing has a huge cost.
A massive opportunity cost. You become much clearer about what doesn't align with your main purpose.
Oh, you get better at saying no.
Much better, more decisive, and probably with less guilt, too, because the priority is crystal clear. You get better at delegating freely.
And avoiding those meetings.
Oh, yeah, the text mentions avoiding meetings that could have been emails. I think everyone felt that one.
Definitely. It's all about protecting that finite resource, isn't it?
Ruthlessly protecting it, because every time you say yes to something low impact, you're effectively saying no to something potentially much bigger.
And I love that analogy in the text.
Yeah.
About the shouting versus the whispering.
Ah, yeah, that was powerful. The distractions, the urgent but not important stuff. It's all shouting and screaming for attention.
Notifications, emails, social media, it's constant.
A total barrage. And they feel urgent.
Yeah.
But they often pull you away from what really matters long term.
That quiet voice, your purpose.
Exactly. The text calls it the whispering of purpose. And to actually hear that whisper,
You need quiet. You need that white space we talked about.
you have to deliberately tune out the noise, create the space for that deeper sense of direction to actually emerge. I mean, that really hit home for me. It's so easy to get lost in the daily reactive stuff.
Me too. You look up and the day is gone and you haven't touched the big things.
Yeah. So, okay, if we pull all these threads together, prioritizing time, creating white space, buying back hours, saying no.
It points towards a totally different definition of wealth, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It fundamentally challenges the old scorecard.
Which is usually about,
Bank balance, assets, maybe how busy your schedule looks, how little sleep you get.
right, those external markers.
But this perspective, it proposes a new definition of true wealth.
Which is?
Control. Control over your time, your energy, and your focus.
Because those are the real finite resources.
Those are the things you can't just make more of. So having the ability to direct them where you want, that's presented as the ultimate prize, the real wealth.
Yeah, the text had that great line, that's the real flex.
Oh, yeah. Waking up on your own terms.
Doing work you love and having the space to actually enjoy the life you're building.
It just paints such a clear picture, right? Autonomy, intention.
It really does. It shifts the whole focus from just accumulation to, fulfillment, control.
And the text wraps up by saying, look, this billionaire thinking, it's not actually about needing billions in the bank.
It's a mindset accessible to anyone.
It's about mastering your relationship with time. That's the core skill, regardless of your bank account.
So wrapping up this deep dive,
Yeah.
the main takeaway is just how profoundly different this perspective is.
It's a huge shift, moving away from the endless chase for more money.
Towards recognizing and really guarding your time. Fiercely.
And what's cool is, okay, maybe we can't all hire a huge team tomorrow or whatever.
Right.
But the principles. Thinking about where your time goes, creating space, saying no strategically, those are things anyone can start thinking about.
It forces you to look in the mirror, really. How do I value my time? Do my actions actually match up?
Yeah. Which leads us perfectly to that final thought for everyone listening.
Take a second. Think honestly. How are you spending your time right now? Who's really in charge of your schedule?
Is it you? Your priorities? Your purpose?
Or are you kind of running on someone else's clock, reacting to their demands?
And maybe the key question is, what's just one small thing you could do, starting today, maybe this week?
To take back a little bit more control. To start intentionally building your life, your legacy on your own time.
It's definitely something worth chewing on.